word to wise. Grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, today we're going to be talking about Immortal Hulk, number 44 through 46 by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. And in this video, we're going to talk about Jackie McGee's newfound abilities. We're also going to find out the truth behind who actually has Doc Samson's body. And more importantly, why the UFOs are tailor-made to take down the Immortal Hulk. We're going to talk about all this and more right now, but first, if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I post new videos multiple times throughout the week and live stream every Saturday. Also, if you enjoy the video, I humbly ask that you Hulk smash that like button and share this video all over the internet and with all your friends because it really helps the channel out. Now that we've said that, let's talk about Immortal Hulk number 44 through 46. Okay, so when we picked this book up, one of the last things that we talked about in regards to what is going on with Jackie McGee is that she now has the ability to see gamma energy. She can see the ghost of the world who exist in the gamma spectrum. These gamma-like monsters and creatures that defy logic and belief. What makes matters even more interesting is that not only can Jackie McGee see these things, but she can also see the two different bodies inside the amalgamation of Del Fry and Rick Jones. And she can see that these bodies are in conflict with one another. They're trying to coexist within the same body, but are completely incapable of doing so. Now, all that aside, Jackie is seeing some pretty crazy stuff. However, the thing that she's concerned about is that she's worried she's going to turn into a gamma monster, no different than the Hulk, or maybe even worse. The things that she's seeing is just terrifying her even more so. She's not able to cope with this, and it would be one thing if she was turning into She-Hulk, but she's scared she's going to become a monster like the Hulk, and that's a very valid thing to think about. But all in all, she's going to stick this out. She's got to see this through. She's got to find out more about what's going on, so she's sticking with Gamma Flight until she can figure everything out. Now, one of the other things going on here is that Doc Samson, he is becoming susceptible to the beast inside of the Sasquatch body. While yes, he is in that body, Walter Lankowski is gone, so the beast is still there. Doc Samson's not used to dealing with it, and earlier in the story, he winds up going berserk, trying to kill the combined entity of Rick Jones and Del Fry, but the thing that helps him calm down, it's Dr. Gowan. Now, this is no surprise. They've become incredibly close, and while the feelings between the two have not necessarily, been explored as much, at least in the realm of Immortal Hulk, it has been heavily teased that Leonard has something for Dr. Gowan, which makes for a very interesting dynamic between the two, because at this particular point, he's not in the body that he believes is his own, and Dr. Gowan is a trans woman who has some experience with having been born a gender that she didn't identify with. It makes for some very interesting back and forth, but as of this point, Dr. Gowan hasn't really shown any interest really in Doc Samson. All that aside, Gamma Flight is able to get some answers in regards to, for one, what happened to Doc Samson's body, which seems to be missing, though they don't really know exactly where it's gone. We know as readers that whoever took Samson's body, it has to be Dr. Lankowski. Somehow he came back, and instead of, once again returning to the body that was originally his, he just happened to take the body that was laying around. Rick Jones and Del Fry are able to find some level of coexistence, and as we learn in the pages of the Gamma Flight comic that, takes place after all this, they do wind up finding a way to coexist as a single body, even though I'm kind of ready for them to be separated as characters at this particular point. Everything seems to be looking on the up and up for Gamma Flight, considering they're now learning about Commander Gyrick's plan to take down the Hulk, which, as we know, is going to be the UFOs. Characters who have a very intimate history with the Hulk, seeing as how they first appeared in The Incredible Hulk, number 254, back in 1980. These are characters who originally were trying to become this carbon copy of the Fantastic Four. They even went as far as creating their own spaceship, similar to what the Fantastic Four did, and going on a journey, much like those characters, to be bombarded by cosmic rays and come back as power powerful beings. Well, it all kind of worked out that way and also kind of backfired at the same time, as Bruce Banner was the one who interfered with their plans. Bruce, not understanding that the UFOs were trying to get bombarded by cosmic radiation on purpose, he remote piloted the shuttle back down to the Earth's surface, but instead he interrupted the process that was giving the UFOs the power they so desperately craved, and feeling as though Bruce robbed them of an opportunity to become even more powerful, thinking that his actions stopped them from gaining even more abilities than what they got. This is how Bruce Banner and the UFOs became hated enemies. Now, the reason why these guys are tailor-made to take on the Immortal Hulk as he is now is largely because right now Joe Fixit is in the driver's seat, and right now he doesn't have the same raw power that the Devil Hulk persona has when he's piloting the Hulk. Not only that, he is still weakened from when he was imprisoned by Commander Gyrick on the Alpha Flight Station, so right now he's not exactly at his best, and the UFOs have only gotten better. Vector, a being who already had incredibly potent telepathic abilities, he has become even more powerful, increasing his telekinetic output to allow him to unleash several thousand pounds per square inch of force in a single blast, which is far more powerful than he could output before. He can even go as far as to perforate the Hulk with telekinetic blast. Ironclad, the heavy of the group, he's become powerful enough that he can even punch the head off of a Hulk simulating robot, which is pretty impressive in and of itself. Even though it's a robot, it's one that is intended to mimic the power and durability of the Hulk as Commander Gyrick knows it, and even though he is more versed in the ways of X-Men, he is intimately familiar with how powerful the Hulk can be. X-Ray, on the other hand, has added gamma negative rays to his repertoire. He's been able to basically imitate all different types of radiation in the past, but this is a whole new one. This is something that can directly affect the Hulk, seeing as how these gamma negative rays are just another form of cosmic rays, and Hulk actually has issues with cosmic radiation. He's technically allergic to it. And then of course Vapor, she's added the ability to turn into tear gas to her repertoire, making her capable of knocking the Hulk on his ass, even without fighting him. Another thing that makes him incredibly dangerous to the Hulk is that they have something to fight for. They are fighting for full pardons from their prison sentences. If they take out the Hulk, they get to go free. That alone is motivation for them to try and kill the Hulk, which they didn't necessarily need considering they hated him already. They're able to beat the green tea out of the Hulk, and it's not even close. It's almost a painful thing to watch, watching the UFOs take him down almost with impunity. They're able to, for all intents and purposes, wreck the Hulk, beating him within an inch of his life and even unleashing enough cosmic radiation and energy, all their powers combined, reducing Hulk to a pile of ash and bone. This actually sends the Hulk to the below place, and we know that since the previous issue, the leader has become a host for the one below all, for all intents and purposes, the true devil of the Marvel Comics universe. And while the Savage Hulk and Joe Fixit want to try and use the Green Door to get back and resurrect, they're not exactly able to do this because the leader has them right where they want him. He's become this Cthulhu-like entity, and his only purpose right now is to turn the Hulk into a gamma mutate monster, basically on par with the way people typically think about him, making him a force of destruction whose sole purpose is to fuel the one below all and make him even more powerful. The destruction and chaos that he could cause as a mindless monster is way too tempting for the one below all to let them simply resurrect and go back to trying to save the world. Elsewhere, we know that Banner and Devil Hulk have, for all intents and purposes, been relegated to being within the belly of the beast, being fed off on and eaten alive by the one below all. But while all this is going on, something strange occurs, and it's something that, I won't lie, initially confused the hell out of me when I first read this comic, but when you go back and think about some of the things that have occurred in the Immortal Hulk series, it all kind of makes sense. We all remember how Devil Hulk's weakness was UV rays. It's actually something that also bothered Joe Fixit as well. But what actually cured Devil Hulk of that weakness is repeatedly exposing himself to UV rays and sunlight, but also Banner's acceptance of Devil Hulk helped cure him of that weakness, and something tells me that somewhere in there, Banner feels something similar, that Joe Fixit can also potentially overcome his weakness and, well, the Hulk's overall weakness to cosmic radiation, with Banner even positing that the Hulk had a hunch about Joe, saying that you left room, but room for what? And Joe, in one way or another, he has in a strange way overcome yet another Hulk weakness. Cosmic radiation no longer hurts him, it now fuels him, and they're able to use this newfound ability to completely regenerate the Hulk's body from being a literal pile of ash and desiccated skeleton to returning him to a borderline Red Hulk-like figure. Now, this is not Thunderbolt Ross that has appeared somehow magically. No, this is still Joe Fixit, and when Savage Hulk is positing whether or not this is in fact the Red Hulk, Joe laughs it off, saying something like that, but it's not exactly the case. Sunshine Joe Fixit, now fueled by cosmic radiation, is able to crack the green door, which is now the red door, but is able to break it, allowing himself to come back. And when he does, this guy is a whole new problem. He is no longer hurt by anything the UFOs can throw at him. Hulk is now no-selling every single attack that the UFOs throw at him. Even Ironclad's incredible strength, it's no match for Sunshine Joe Fixit, even crushing Ironclad's hands and crushing his skull with his own bare hands. Vapor even tries to use her abilities to turn into sulfuric acid gas, thinking that that's gonna stop the Hulk, and it's nothing to him, literally breathing it in through his nostrils, essentially consuming Vapor wholesale, and then exhaling Vapor's body onto Vector, blinding him. To the point that the only thing the UFOs can do, Vector more specifically, is telekinetically blast the Hulk away from them. Something that Hulk actually wanted. The UFOs have failed, technically. They did actually succeed in their mission, but Commander Gyrick took so long sending a containment unit to pick up and collect the Hulk's dead body that Hulk got free again, and honestly, Gyrick has no one to blame but himself, even though he does blame the UFOs for the problem. At the end of the day, he is the reason why the Hulk is still running free, and this actually pushes him to have to call in a marker he doesn't want to call. He absolutely hates the Avengers. The Avengers are probably the only people on Earth he hates just as much as he hates mutants. Well, largely because technically some mutants are Avengers. Even still, he isn't crazy about working with them, and that lets you know how serious everything gets. So when we later see Sunshine Joe Fixit is hitting up a bar in Manhattan, it's no small surprise that before he can even enjoy his drink, the Avengers show up ready for round 2. Now, the last time this fight went down, it went incredibly wrong and not in the Avengers' favor. However, they've learned a lot since the last fight, even though technically UV rays did eventually win out the day for them, but they don't even know if that'll work now. And at this particular point, the only thing they can do is try to kill him, something Thor is viciously anxious to do. This is a whole new Hulk. This isn't Devil Hulk like before. This very well possibly might be an even more dangerous version of the Hulk than what Devil Hulk was before him. The other cool part about this is that Hulk's not gonna have to do this fight alone. He is actually gonna have help, and it's not actually gonna come from the person that you think it is. We know that She-Hulk is on deck right now, and while she is not exactly keen on the idea of fighting her cousin, there is someone else who actually is more than happy to help out old Sunshine Joe Fixit, and that is the Red Harpy. Now, the reasons why she finally decided to come and help Joe Fixit, why is it that she decided to throw in her lot with this entity, this being, this person who has done nothing but hurt her and spurn her and make her feel like she was less than? We're not going to talk about that in this one. We'll talk about it in the next video. In the next video, we will discuss why the Red Harpy came to help the Hulk, and more importantly, what side of this Avengers versus Hulk fight she's going to wind up landing on. We're going to talk about that and a lot more more in the next video. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, Hulk smash that like button and make sure to share this video all over the internet with all your friends so they'll know how you leveled up your comic book big brain in regards to the Immortal Hulk and his fight against the UFOs. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know what you thought about Immortal Hulk number 44 through 46. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.